Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at everything crafting and progression related in Amazon's upcoming title, New World. Guys, this is my first ever YouTube video, so I'd really appreciate a comment down below letting me know what I did well and where I can improve on my next video. Alright guys, so all the information about crafting that we'll be breaking down today for you is from Amazon's New World website, as well as the Developer Diary series. So upon first arriving in Eternum, you will face challenges to overcome immediately. You'll have to assess your surroundings, find resources to both harvest and gather before you can begin your crafting journey. Continued progression of the trade and skill lines will allow you to gather, refine and craft more powerful items for your character. Guys, I'm going to put links down in the description where you can find more details about crafting on the New World website, as well as stay up to date with the Developer Diary series. Okay guys, so to give you some context as to the skills that are in the game, also known as trade skills and crafting skills, we have weaponsmithing, armouring, engineering, jewel crafting, arcana, cooking and furnishing, as you can see on the screen now. So it's going to work similarly to any other MMO. You're going to be going out into the wild, you're going to be gathering your raw materials, your raw resources, such as wood from logging and stone from mining. You're then going to go back to a settlement, a town, a city, and you're going to be hitting up the woodworking benches, you're going to be hitting up the smelter, and then once you have the refined materials from doing that, from smelting the ore down into ingots, you're then going to be able to specialise in various different crafting skill trees. So with the smelting, you're then going to be able to craft armour with that. With the woodworking, you're then going to be able to go down these magical route and create crafting staffs and everything, and bow and arrows and everything you want from there. Alright guys, without further ado, let's get right into the nitty gritty, starting with crafted consumables and resources. Through developing your crafting skills in areas such as arcana and cooking, you create consumables for your character. As your skill improves, your efficiency also improves. Amazon Game Studios provides us with an example of this. As a beginner alchemist, crafting healing tinctures crafts them in a ratio of 1:1, while an advanced alchemist has a chance to produce extra healing tinctures, which might initially seem small, but when you start crafting in bulk, you can see yields greater than 30% efficiency. Guys, up next we're going to be looking at crafted equipment and gear scores. As you would imagine, the more you craft, the better you become at it, and in turn, the more powerful the equipment will be. As you progress to crafting the skill that creates equipment with a scaling gear score, such as weapons or armour, the overall potential gear score outcome begins to expand. This means as a beginner and a wannabe blacksmith, you cannot create god tier loot. You will however be able to make an iron sword, with a relatively narrow outcome, between 200 to 210 in gear score. As your weapon smithing progresses, this range will also increase, and eventually the minimum gear score of the crafted item will begin to rise as well. Higher skilled weaponsmiths will be able to craft lower tier weapons that are actually more powerful than a higher tier weapon made by a lower skilled weaponsmith. Therefore, specialisation at an early stage of the game will be important. Upon unlocking higher skilled weapons such as steel, you will start over again at the same lower end range, so 300 to 310, 400 to 410, etc. As your skills continue to grow, it will rise similarly to the previous weapons here before it. Eventually, you'll be able to craft lower tier items that will compete against higher tier items of a less skilled weaponsmith. For example, a skilled weaponsmith can craft an iron sword that is slightly more powerful than the base steel sword of a less powerful smith. Amazon Game Studios adds, this can be a big help when it comes to gearing your lower level friends and allies. Guys, up next we're going to be looking at how to get gem slots and perks on each item you craft in New World. At any point when you craft a piece of equipment, it has a small chance of gaining one or more perks during the crafting process. Occasionally you may get an item with a socket for a gemstone. These outcomes are completely random, but during the crafting process there are steps you can take in order to gain back some control over the outcome. You are in fact able to increase the chance of getting an item with a gem slot in it. You can do this by increasing the amount of the item's primary resource used in the crafting process. For instance, if you want to craft a steel sword and to have a high chance of it resulting in a gem slot, you choose to use more steel in the crafting process. It should be noted that there is no guaranteed results here, but you can take the chance from low to high with enough resources. Alright guys, so on the screen now you can see some examples of the different types of gems that you're going to be able to put into these gem slots. You're going to find these gems out on adventuring and as rewards for doing certain activities in the game. And these gems are going to boost your core attributes such as +1 strength, +1 constitution, +2 intelligence, +2 constitution, +3 intelligence, +3 constitution. You get the point. It boosts your core attributes. I may do another video covering in more detail the core attributes and the weapon mastery side of the game and the progression that you can make there. But just to touch on it quickly, strength governs the power of your melee weapons, dexterity governs your effectiveness with ranged weapons, intelligence governs your power with magical weapons, that includes magical perks on your weapons as well. Focus governs your mana recovery and your skill cooldown, and constitution governs your overall health pool. So the higher your constitution, the more damage you can sustain, so that's going to be good for tanks in the game as well. The number and level of perks that an item has a chance to craft with is governed by Azoth. You can use Azoth while crafting to increase your chances of getting an item with additional perks on it. You can also add special modifiers when you are crafting. These modifiers will enable you to apply special types of perks to an item. For example, while you're exploring you might come across a powerful flower called Dragon Glory. Dragon Glories are rich in the fire essence, which are a vital ingredient used by alchemists in potions and in the creation of fire staves. Upon harvesting a Dragon Glory, you have a small chance to successfully harvest a Dragon Glory stem. This can be used to craft weapons with the Ignited perk. This perk causes the weapon to deal additional fire damage with each strike. Whilst you cannot control the total outcome of the item, you can guarantee that at least one perk that you want will be on the item. There is a wide variety of crafting modifiers in the game, and they are generally rare and hard to find. They come from a broad range of sources, everything from trees to boulders to specific types of creatures. They all have a small chance of dropping a crafting modifier. Combine the maximum amount of Azoth with a crafting modifier in an attempt to create some of the most powerful gear in the game. Up next we have Furnishing. Furnishing is not only important to make your house feel like a home, but it's also important because it's going to give your character some very strong passive abilities that I'll explain shortly. Amazon Game Studios has said that furnishing works slightly differently to the other crafting skills in the game. They said it's important to maximise the variety of furniture that we can have in our homes, but without having a huge barrier for players that just want to simply decorate their house. As a result, decoratives can be crafted from a low furnishing level. In addition to this, furnishers can also craft a selection of trophies and storage for their houses. House trophies grant passive bonuses for things like combat and crafting. Each house can have a number of storage chests. Adding a storage chest to your house increases your storage volume for that house's settlement. Recipes for both trophies and storage unlock as you progress your furnishing skill. Guys, one final thing that I'd like to add when looking at housing and furnishing is that you can have more than one house. You can have actually 3. You unlock the ability to purchase your first house at level 20 in the game. You unlock the ability to get the second house at level 40 and finally at level 60, and you're going to have to purchase these in game. In order to unlock the ability to purchase a house, you're going to have to increase your standing within that settlement. You'll have to do this in the later settlements as well to unlock your second and third house. This isn't something you can just do once, you have to do it 3 times. Houses range in size, features and costs. Some houses overlook the centre of town, whilst others have balconies that overlook the settlement walls. Some houses have exterior areas for decoration, while others simply have a front or back porch. If you would like me to make a more in-depth housing video, explaining everything to do with housing in New World, then let me know in the comment section of this video. Amazon finished their article by looking at crafted items versus dropped items in the wild. They say that highly skilled crafters can create items that are just as powerful as items found in a tournament. Battles will not be won based on whether an item is crafted or dropped from a powerful creature. They'll be won based on the skill of the players involved and the thought that they have put into their respective attributes and the mastery of their builds. There are many roles to play in New World, whether you're exploring remote and dangerous places to gather resources or mastering the forge to produce incredible weapons that change the course of a war. You can leave your mark on a tournament. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you found it enjoyable and I hope you found it informative as well. As I mentioned earlier, this is my first ever YouTube video, so I'd really appreciate some support. Drop a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section which trade skill you guys are going to be going after. Personally, I think weaponsmithing is going to be for me. This has been Ragnar Gaming, and I wish you all a very good day.